Story 1. Confidence. Thinking that no one would consider me. I have to learn to like myself first, otherwise you're wasting their time by putting them on a pedestal made for one person, and you're not up there with them. Story 2. I'm likable but not relatable. So I'm fun at barbecues, but no one can really imagine being with me every day. Also, at 35, socializing with other single, age-appropriate people takes way more effort than back in college or early to mid-20s. Story 3. Everybody just wanted to bump genitals, but I'm the dumbass who wanted to bump hearts. Unfortunately for me, this has caused an avoidant attachment style, and intimacy and vulnerability are now terrifying. Story 4. No offense to the great men out there because I know they exist, and this isn't in any way meant to bash them because this is probably what it will sound like. But between the married men who pretend to be single, the ones with secret children they don't tell you about, the men who are out here hooking up with other men while posing as straight, men with drug or drinking problems, and those who are abusive that you don't realize until you're in a corner cowering away from them, it's safe to say I have simply given up. Story 5. Living in Japan. In Japan, a large portion of our generation considers getting married and having a child to be an extremely expensive act that only some people can afford without sacrificing their personal life. Also, many of us have low self-esteem, so that may be a factor. Story 6. I do not know where to meet people. I am not good at talking to new people. I am shy, and I cannot tell if someone is interested in me. I do not think I would make a good partner, so I do not try very hard. Story 7. I love my life the way that it is now. I've been married twice and have had several other long-term relationships. Ditched that because I learned I like doing what I want to do anytime I want to, go where I want to go without needing permission. I'm alone as much as I want to be and hook up just long enough for my taste before I have to compromise non-negotiable aspects of my life. It's the shortest fairy tale ever told. One day, a man asked a woman, "Will you marry me?" The girl said, "No." And the guy lived happily ever after and rode motorcycles and went fishing and hunting and played golf a lot and drank beer and scotch and had tons of money in the bank and left the toilet seat up and farted whenever he wanted. Story 8. Mental abuse, violence, continual disappointment, mind games, and men just wanting something casual, but I take full accountability for my part in choosing to stay in some of those relationships too. I recognize wholeheartedly not all men are bad. It just hasn't worked out for me so far, but I'm letting it go and focusing on myself. I believe magic can happen when you invest in yourself first. But I do believe finding a genuine relationship or connection is also much harder now than it's ever been. Hopefully, we teach the following generations how to treat ourselves and each other much better. Story 9. Mental health and personal choice. After the mental abuse she put me through, I ended the relationship way too late, but I decided I wasn't going to date anymore. It's been roughly 4 years since, and I still have no interest in a partner, dating, or any form of companionship. I fully expect to die alone of old age, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy. I have friends, an ex-wife who is supportive, and a mostly understanding family. Story 10. I think I am high-functioning autistic, and I misinterpret a lot of social cues from the opposite sex. I am a 38-year-old female, so I really feel like I should be better at it in general. I hate chick flicks and romance novels because they just make me feel ill, but at the same time, I am very feminine. I am also petite in stature, only 5 feet tall. I look like a porcelain doll. I do not know if I will ever be able to connect with someone romantically simply because I am so different. I am conservative, traditional, and even old-fashioned. Most people would probably look at my life and say that I am religious. I am open-minded about many things, but I have strong convictions about right and wrong. I honestly think I was born in the wrong era because I did not have any kind of encouragement from my parents to make me turn out this way, and I certainly was not like this as a child growing up in the 90s. I do not know what happened. I even decorate my apartment with vintage and Victorian-style pieces. I am not giving up hope, but I am not going to set myself up for disappointment either. Story 11. I know there are a few good men out there, but I have seen so many people fail in their marriages. Husbands abuse their wives or kids, secretly have affairs, and fathers sexually assault their children. Seeing all this makes me give up on having a partner. Story 12. I'm guessing my extremely introverted personality, the amount of marijuana that I smoke, my tendency to talk to myself, and the fact that I live with my mother at the age of 38 and don't really like sex too much contribute to my situation. I also just kind of don't know how to talk to men or necessarily want to keep a man in my life for too long after the way I've been hurt by men repeatedly. So yeah, story 13. After all the difficult people I've been with, I've developed a strong sense of boundaries and sensitivity to others' energy. Now, I prioritize protecting my peace and spiritual alignment, distancing myself from people whose intentions or vibes feel off or who aren't adding value to my life. I'm just more selective now, focusing on deeper emotional and spiritual connections rather than basic, casual interactions. My self-sufficiency and commitment to personal growth, art, and keeping my energy high make me more cautious about who I let into my life unless we are aligned. When you start putting your needs first, things begin to fall into place, and that's exactly where I'm at, and that's what has kept me single so far. Story 14. Having a hard time putting myself out there. Asking someone out is always a risk, especially if you've developed a friendship and don't want to lose that if they aren't interested in more. I know how to be generally fun to be around, especially at clubs and parties. The transition to dating is what I find elusive. Story 15. I think for me, it is having photos for applications. I haven't really done anything social for several years now, given the financial strain I've been under. I don't know where a good starting point is. Story 16. Started focusing on myself, diving deeper into my own hobbies, not putting myself out there, working from home, kind of scared of disturbing the peace I've created. It's a balance of loneliness and quiet comfort. Story 17. My penis is well below average and I'm insecure about it. I'm still a virgin at 24. It is what it is. I just don't want to let a girl down. It's 4.1 inches when erect. No girl is going to want that. Also, my soft penis is so small that it looks like it belongs to a toddler. Story 18. Fear of being emotionally vulnerable combined with really valuing the peace and freedom of being alone. Part of me knows at the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to dedicate enough energy to a person that would otherwise deserve it, and I would eventually want more alone time. My social battery is very low. Loneliness sucks at times, but I don't know. Story 19. I'm not gonna date some trash. Too many guys out there want me to do everything for them, including work, and then run around on me and cheat, spend all my money, and act entitled. I'll die alone before I go through that nonsense. Story 20. I'm all about having conversations and sharing ideas, so I don't really date like people do. But I love hearing about relationships and experiences. What about you? What do you think keeps people single? Story 21. Currently a returning student in college in my early 30s, and I feel like I don't have the time or budget for dating at the moment. It sucks, but I'm finishing in a year, and then maybe I'll try to hit the dating scene hard and see if I can make something happen. Story 22. Myself. Inside lives a conscience of not approaching girls much and sometimes having a general dislike for myself. In all seriousness, I probably would have gotten my first girlfriend if my crush hadn't moved before this school year started. Story 23. So much more fun. No obligations to someone else. Sleep whenever, eat whenever, have more money, do whatever I want. Sleep with whomever I want and have constant exciting new possibilities and people to meet and bond with. The stress just does not justify it for me. Story 24. Very few friends I knew growing up had intact first marriages for their parents. Very few friends I have now, 45 years later, have intact first marriages. I always considered it, and still do, a no-win situation. Story 25. I just don't fit the market's around me standards. I don't know how to dance, I'm not into partying, and I'm not considered conventionally attractive. Been told I'm very handsome or just handsome. I either get the overly impulsive short girls or the ones very sweet who got cheated on and treated poorly, and now I have to either deal with their baggage or move on. Sometimes I attract the weird ones who get super awkward in person and don't know how to act. It's been pretty exhausting. Sometimes you try to do the best and help people and they just don't make it easier. I am also very nerdy but don't look like I am either. I like to work out and love swimming. Maybe I'm just hard to read. I've been single for so long that I really enjoy being by myself. I go out with friends and have been to bars and other social activities, but I'm just not most people's cup of tea. Story 26. I set the bar too high. To be honest, it's not that good men don't exist. It's that I just haven't met one worth his weight in sawdust. Not saying I am a great catch, but not the worst. But I won't go back to an abusive relationship. It takes me forever to trust someone, and what I hear means nothing compared to what I see. I don't buy into lip service. Show me how you feel. I will believe that over you telling me how you feel. Story 27. Honestly, being taught by my friends, father, and uncles that a partner is there for sex and nothing else, so rope one and you like to be with and forget about anything else, ruined any chances of me being with the last couple of girls I've been with. I can't even bring them around my family. Their questions and jokes are always have kids already? I'm literally 20, or you rap before you tap that, or anything along those lines. Leave it to a broken young man to figure out what a normal relationship is supposed to look like when all he's known is dysfunction and chaos. Good job, Dad. Story 28. Haven't been attracted to a man in years. And yes, it's cliché, but isn't attraction the first thing you notice? If I'm not finding someone attractive, they can be the greatest person on the planet, but it won't go beyond friendship. I fell in love once in my life, and that was brilliant, so I'm hoping one day it'll happen again. Story 29, mostly gaming, to be honest. I just enjoyed gaming with my friends too much for it to be disrupted by any other person. Then the one time I actually went outside for a birthday party, I met that one girl and fell in love hard. She's also a gamer, so we can sit back to back, everyone playing their own games with their friends. I wouldn't want it any other way, so there's hope. Story 30, being bad at meeting people. I don't want to randomly start talking to women while out grocery shopping and come off as creepy, but I also have no interest in going to clubs or anything like that. Story 31. I do not really know. I guess I choose to be single. A woman asked me out last year and I rejected her. I had a small hookup with another girl a while before that, and I just felt really lonely afterward. The burden of constantly wondering if I am going to find my life partner is too exhausting. I would rather just not think about it until there is someone in front of me that I cannot deny. That may never happen, but if it does, then I will try. Story 32. Sigh, my damn standards. Somehow, people seem to be scared to approach me because of my outer shell being too thick, I guess. I don't know. Also, before I ruin my reputation, I want to try with someone who has the potential to make it work. You know? Not some temporary stuff. I want to make it last this time. Dating a lot on Facebook, but now I want the real thing. I can't risk ruining my image in the eyes of the good keeper girls by dating someone I'm not really into, you know? Story 33. I don't want to date in my city, but I also don't want to join any dating applications. I did use them in the past, but nothing really worked out. Also, I'm socially awkward with questionable taste in men, women not so much thankfully. Oh, and COVID-19 and the economy. Story 34. Not sure if I would be able to give a relationship my 100%. I am focused and want to keep it this way for at least a few more years. Once I achieve a desired goal in my life, I would happily make myself open to a relationship. Story 35. My ex cheated on me twice with one of my bandmates. Completely ruined my trust in friends. I don't even try to talk to women. I know guys can be jerks, and I usually give women their space. So I just keep to myself and view from afar. Story 36. I'd consider myself average to slightly above average in a girl next door sort of way. I work in the service industry, and being hit on constantly is making me numb to the whole attachment thing. Story 37. I've never been in a relationship, probably due to thinking I'm not being my best self, not putting myself out there, wanting to focus on my grades, health, and work, living in a small town, only going to work in community college, and every girl I like being taken. Story 38. I don't trust anyone, myself included. I never thought much of monogamy. If I want to play the field, I will, and I expect anyone I'm dating to do the same. Story 39. I missed the flirting class in high school, so I don't know how to talk to girls. Plus, I'm autistic, so I need a script pretty much. I used to have one, then I got depressed for 6 years and forgot it. Story 40. I'm older now, And through the years, I have seen how incredibly goofy and stupid my friends have gotten when they pair up with somebody or get married. They seem to lose all common sense. They cut ties with their friends and, in some cases, their families. Obviously, your spouse or partner is going to be your priority, but I have seen far too many people create some kind of bubble around themselves and cut off everyone in their lives. Then years later, if they break up, they come running back to everybody. Nah, I don't want to be one of those people. It's easier just to be single rather than lose my mind. Story 41. My inability to open my heart and let people in after all the abuse and trauma I've had to endure. I don't trust people anymore. I've kept myself isolated for nearly 20 years as I just don't like people all that much. I like cute girls, but they never seem to like me back. So why bother? Tinder was just depressing, and Bumble was a waste of time. Probably because I'm ugly, but I don't know.